It's time to talk about what I read in April. You're gonna be really annoyed with me because you're like, Caitlin, you just finally posted your February and March. Hopefully, you'll see this literally a week later. I hope by saying that I will make it happen, but no promises. But anyway, I read a fair amount of books in April, so let's just get in. Literally, like the end of the beginning of April, and I was like halfway done with this book, I think in March. I don't know, it's a novella, it's not very long, but I did finish it in April. And that is Caroline's Heart by Austin Chant. I love Austin Chant's work. I own all of his books. This is my least favorite, and I think that's because I would have preferred this to be longer to flesh out more of the fantasy bits. But I also don't know that it needed to be longer. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I would like more like world building, but like I understand why it's a novella. Anyway, I liked this, but again, not as much as other works. This is fantasy, sort of. Like there's witchcraft. She's a witch. There's magic. But then he's just like a cowboy, and I love that so much. Speaking of things that I loved, although this might be my least favorite so far in the series. And that is Beautiful Vengeance by Kay Robert. This is the fourth book in the O'Malley series. This was originally published as Forbidden Promise. So for those who don't know, the O'Malley series has been recently, in starting last year, is being republished. So this is the republished version of book 4. I believe the other 2 are also coming. So like the first 3 came out last year, the other 3 are coming out this year. Is my understanding of what's happening. Not to I can't really talk about like what happens in this book without kind of spoiling the other books a little bit. But it is about the entire series is about the O'Malley family, and is about the 6 siblings falling in love. So each book is a different sibling, with a little bit like more sort of upping the antics of the overall conflict between them and other mob families. I liked this one. I liked what it's setting up for books 4 and 5. 5 and 6. That being said, I know which characters are book 5 and which characters are book 6, and I am more looking forward to the characters for book 6 than I am the characters for book 5. So, here's hoping 5's good enough to I'm gonna read them both regardless, right? Like, it's happening. But I'm a little worried that I'm not gonna like 5 all that much. That being said, I typically, even the Carrie Robert books that I'm, kind of met on are good. So, there's that. This is probably, okay, this next book might be one of my favorite books that I've read, this year. Just because of how, unhinged it is fluff in the sense that, there was a bunch of squealing while reading this book. It was so delightful and fun. And that is The Blonde Identity by Ally Carter. I have been a fan of Ally's work since I was in high school. And I read High Society for the first time. And I've read all of High Society, I've read all of Gone Girls, and I read Embassy Row. I did not read her, she has another book that I think is just a standalone that's not in either of those series, and I did not read that, and I have not yet seen her Netflix holiday movie. I'm gonna need to after reading this though, because if it's half as cheesy as this, 10 out of 10, love it to bits. This is a rom-com about spies. And I ate this up. It's so good. It's not gonna be for everyone. I know that. It's cheesy. It's a little bit it's actually not the most predictable romance I read this year, because this month, because that is coming up. But this was just a fun time, and I loved it. I really hope that there's a setup for a second book that focuses on the main character's relatives. I'm trying to say things without saying things, because there are some pretty spoilers by saying relative. But yeah. I hope that happens. Or Ally can give me a High Society 4. That'd also be great. I know she said that there was the potential that she could write more at a later date. And I've been waiting like 10 years for that. So that'd be great. But anyway, I love Allie so much, and this was delightful and silly, and I just that's, you know, I'll take silly sometimes. Then I read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. This is the Penguin Horror Collection edition, which has these gorgeous Bloxbury edges. The entire series has these Bloxbury edges, by the way, all like 6 that are like this hardcover collection. I liked some of this, and I didn't like others, and I felt very mixed about it in general. I definitely think that I preferred the poems to the short stories, just as a general rule, but there were some fun ones in here that I liked. But yeah, I think that I maybe would have, I honestly wish that I had read some of that when I was a little younger, because I think I had like it hyped in my brain a little bit more. That being said, a book that deserves all of the hype and all of the praise. The Hacienda. Gothic horror at its finest. Specifically set after the Mexican War of Independence. So you get your history too in there. This was so good. I read this author's other book, Vampires del Norte, last year, and I loved it. I would say that I liked this more personally, but also like I'm just, Gothic horror is my shit. Like, give it to me. Especially Hispanic people writing Gothic horror. This Mexican Gothic by oh my gosh, Marcia. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking her name right now? Anyway, Mexican Gothic. Also, really my love of Gothic. But honestly, let's be real here. The start of my love of Gothic horror, Crimson Peak, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Like, yes, absolutely loving that. Loving this. Like, give me more Hispanic people writing Gothic horror, please and thank you. And then the second to last book that I read, sorry, nope, that is in the wrong pile. The second to last book that I read this month was Love on the Brain by Ellie Hazelwood. And when I say this is the most predictable romance that I have read all year, I mean that, but not in like a bad way. I'm okay that I saw a lot of the, like, I didn't say like the main plot twist that happens, but like all of the romantic stuff, I call it pretty easily from the beginning of the book, but I still liked this. Is this probably my least favorite Ellie Hazelwood novel? Yes. But I still loved it, and I still enjoyed every second of it. It just made me happy. Like, this is the kind of camp that I live for, really, at the end of the day. So good. If you don't like Love Theoretically or The Life Hypothesis, you're not gonna like this. I'm just gonna say that right now. Then the last week of April, I was in Victoria, and we went to a comic book shop. Shout out to Yellow Jacket. And I wasn't going to buy a comic originally. But then I saw this. And if there's a thing that I'm a sucker for, it is characters that I don't think get enough love. Zatanna and Black Canary. A. And B, anything written by Paul Dini in the DC universe. Because, for those of you who don't know, he was one of the lead writers, if not just like the main writer, for Batman the Animated Series. Literally, this is the guy that created Harley Quinn. So him writing anything is gonna be something that I'm probably gonna be interested in, especially again in the DC world. But also, again, characters that I do not think get enough love. I specifically love, like, I love both these characters, but I'm much more of a, like, Black Canary girly. Was this, like, the most interesting comic I've ever read? No, it's a one-shot. Like, it's just here to tell a story and have a good time, and I did do that. I will say, the Green Arrow cameo in this is maybe my favorite part of the whole thing. And I don't know. I don't know why. Yes, I do. Because, again, I grew up watching Justice League Unlimited and Justice League, the animated series, so it has that kind of vibe. If you like that vibe of their characters in that show, but, like, a little bit more grown up in terms of subject matter, this is for you. But yeah, that's what I read in April. I did just finish a book, literally yesterday, which is the 1st. But I am going to save that for my April, as for my May wrap-up, to not confuse my brain. But I have already finished a book for May. So, that I mostly read in April. Hence, why I finished it this month already. But, yeah, There might be more books than this next month. I'm not gonna lie. Probably a lot of graphic novels. It's May. Free Comic Book Day is around the corner on the 4th. So that's typically when I buy the bulk of my graphic novels for the year and then just like read all of them. So also I have a decent stack of a series that I've been putting off because I'm missing 2 volumes. I know I'm gonna like want to binge the whole thing once I start. And I just finally bought the missing volumes that I needed. So hopefully those will arrive soon. And I might, like, the second I get the shipping notification that they're on their way, I might just start reading that series because I have the first 3. So I'm missing 4 and 5. So actually I might wait because I don't know. I thought I got them pretty quickly. But we'll see. We'll see what May ends up being. But thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.